We're learning today the Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Kuf Mem Hayim with base. It's about Matan Torah. The Gemara asks, "Mipnema Bavliyim Mezuhomim." Why the Babylonians are impure? But Pashtus, it talks about spiritually, but also we could say even Begashmius. We're going to see soon. So one of the tirutzim before the Gemara, before this Gemara, the Gemara says, they eat non-kosher food, and the non-kosher food makes them impure, and that's why they eat more pure, because they eat kosher. So now the Gemara gives another answer. The Gemara says, "Mipnei shelo omdu al har Sinai." They did not stand on Har Sinai, b'Kabbalah Satorah, and the male by them they have impurity. Now, why? What does it do with Har Sinai? Shebashosh Nochash al Chavo, when Nochash spoke Chavo into the aver of Etzadas, he also had a relationship with her, because it says when Chava told Nochash, "Heshiani v'oichal b'pashas meaning Heshiani, talk me into it." Right. Also, the Chazal learning Miloshan, they put the pintele of the shin from the right to the left. It become Hisiani Miloshan Nisuyin, got married to me. She had a relationship, and he left in her impurity, and Memele, that impurity went to all mankind, everybody coming from Chava, the whole entire world. Nobody has any other source but Chava. So Memele, we all inherited some kind of impurity from the snake, and that also the Zohar HaKodesh calls it by all mankind mashcho de chavya, the skin of the snake. We all have some impurity. It looks like it's mainly maybe concentrated in the skin, maybe. Akoponim, we have something impurity, and that impurity causing us Baruchnius, first of all, to have some tendencies to go after the Yetzer Hara, to do the wrong things. That's coming from the Nachash. The good things are coming from the Nefesh Elokis. You want to do the right things. The wrong of Nefesh Abamis, and Nefesh Abamis is contaminated with the impurity of the Nachash. Yisrael Shomdu al Har Sinai, Posko Zulmosan. God, the Torah, we said on Har Sinai, the Matan Torah removed from us, the Kedushas HaTorah came down, it removed from us the impurity. The B'nayahu Ben Yehuda saying, he brings from a sefer that that doesn't say B'shas Matan Torah, it says Omdu al Har Sinai, because one of the events that took place, a lot of things took place in Har Sinai. One of them was the fire. It says that fire that was over there, it burned away, he says, the impurity of the Nachash. There's something into the fire, he says, he brings that from quotes another sefer, there is something in the fire, he says, it burns the impurity of the snake. The Mele says, since we were there, so according to him it says to do push it with the fire, but again, there's no kind, it could be both, it could be the fire and the fire of Torah also, the spiritual fire of Torah. We're going to talk about it a little bit more, we're going to go over it. The Mele, we got rid of our impurity. Masha'enke and Bavliim, just Avrim, Bavliim doesn't mean Dafka Bavliim, the whole entire world. The whole world was not there besides the Eden. Bavliim shelo omdu al Har Sinai lo posko zomos, and they were not there in Har Sinai. Memele, in their impurities from the Nachash, from the snake, it continues with them. Memele, that's why they are impure.
Like Babylonians?
Babylonians, or they spoke out because they lived among them. But same thing would be the whole entire world. The only one who got Torah, it's Bnei Israel, no one else. And furthermore, and people are going to say it's discrimination. Hashem offered it to everybody. It was your choice to get it or not. You refused it. We're the only one said Nasav and Nishma, took the Torah. So that's the benefit of it. Through the Torah, we remove the impurity. Now, according to this, it says the Zohar, when we did the Chet HaEgel, so the whole thing that we were in such a high state, such a pure state, there's only Matan Torah Vav Sivan till Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, 40 days. For 40 days, maybe the last few hours, we were in that state of very holy, pure. By Chet HaEgel, it came back to us. But still, it was still benefit, despite the still, we're going to see in a minute. So it says like this. I could say this now. So it says like this: by us, since we had the Torah, even though Kem Cheta Egel and brought back the impurity, but still, when we connect to the Torah, it's easier for us. Since we already got rid one time to the Torah from the impurity, it's easier for us to get rid of it again. Now it's harder. We have to learn the Torah more. We have to toil in learning. But we still, it's like when you do something once, second time, it's already easier. You're already used to it. Mashenk and the Goyim, they never got the Torah, for them, they have this impurity. Now the Gemara asks like this. Omar Rav Oche, Bred Rovel Rav Ashi, Gerim Mai. Gerim, the new Jews, coming to the Jewish nation, if the whole thing, because the Matan Torah removed the impurity, they were not on Matan Torah. So so they have, according to this theory, they should have impurity like the Nochrim. The Gemara says, Amar Lei. So Rav Oche asks Rav Ashi answers him, Amar Lei, Afagav the Inu Lahava, Mazalayo Hava. Even they were not there physically, their mazel, according to some, mazel means a malach, or a neshama, the neshama spiritually they were there. Since the neshama was there, Memele, their impurity was also removed. The impurity, Memele, they are pure also. The Chsiv, what's the pasuk? Es asher yeshna po imonu oimadayon. Whoever with us over here physically, and then the point. Whoever is not here physically, what do you mean? So who are you talking about? If they're not here, they're not here. Meaning the neshamas were there. The neshamas were there. Memele.
That's what we were saying a couple of days ago, right? We're talking about the Gerim.
Yeah.
And
they were very good. That's what he mentioned. He reminded me that we said that the Rebbe brings from the Maharami Rotenberg why the whole entire Shas, when it talks about Gerim, it says Gershon is Gayer. Grammatically, it would be more appropriate to say a Nochrishan is Gayer. He was a Nochri. Why you say Gershon is Gayer? So he says, the Maharami Rotenberg says, because every Ger that makes a Giur, Ger Tzedek, deep inside he already had, his Neshama was already, the Ilkei Klippa that came out through Giur, but it was already there, Ger, that was already there. And that was Taka, the Neshama was on Maimad. Har Sinai Memele, we call him Gershon is Gayer. He only was revealed through his Giur, he brought out the Nitzitz, the holy Nitzitz. Anyway, the Gemara says like this: so Pliga the Rab Abba Bar Kahana. This opinion disagrees with the opinion of Rab Abba Kahana. Again, according to what we learned just now, which is that's the opinion of Rav Yosef. I didn't mention Rav Yosef because they started with something else. I wanted to go straight on this union of impurity and purity. So that was the opinion of Rav Yosef. So the impurity was removed by the Eden by Matan Torah. Fliged Rav Abba Bar Kahana. Rav Abba Bar Kahana is a different opinion. The impurity was removed way before Matan Torah. The Omar Rav Abba Bar Kahana. At shloisha doires lo poskos zuhama me'aboiseinu. 3 generations we still have the impurity. It started from Avram. Avram heiled as Yishmael. Avram, how come such a holy man Avram came Yishmael? Because he had in him some impurity still. For the pure part came Yitzchak, the impure came Yishmael. Yitzchak heiled as Esau. Yitzchak also, from the pure part came Yaakov Avinu, for the impure came Esau. Yaakov heiled 12 shvatim shalai b'hem shum doifi. Yaakov already brought 12 shvatim. They all were tzaddikim because it took 3 generations over there since Avraham Avinu started serving Hashem and he rebelled against all the idol worshipping. So he started the process of cleansing, of purifying himself from the impurity of the Nochosh. But it didn't go completely, removed completely. That's why came Yishmael from him. From Yitzchak came Esau. Yaakov completed Mitosa Shleimo. So, by the way, I mentioned this many times, very important. Every night we're saying by Berochav HaMapil, Uteh Mitosa Shleimo Lefanecha. My bed should be complete. So the Mefarshim saying what it means, like Yaakov Avinu, is Mitosa Oisa Shleimo. All the children came tzaddikim. So we're also davening every night. My bed, meaning everybody coming, my yotze chalotzai, all my offshoots, offsprings should be tzaddikim. That we have to pray for. Punkt today, many people daven today that fill of Ashla Kodesh for good children tzaddikim. So every night you daven for it by the saying Utem mitos Shalom al Fanachim. Anyway, so according to this, we have two opinions. When the impurity was removed, according to Rav Yosef, was removed by Har Sinai, and according to Rav Abba Bar Kahana, it was removed already by Yaakov Avinu. And Rab Tzadok, a Kohen, he says there's really no machloikes. It says two different stages in removing there was a stage of the impurity was removed by Yaakov Avinu, started of Roman, completed by Yaakov. We still have and we still were not 100% pure. Yeah, we got rid of the main chunk of the clip of the Nachash, but the completion of the impurity was a Matan Torah. We stood up. We're going to see in a minute in a very, very high level. Now it's interesting the Mechilta and the Posuk. It says over there, right after Aseres Adibrus in Pashas Yisro, it says over V'chol Ha'om, there's Perek Chof Shmois, Perek Chof, and Posuk Tesvav, Posuk 15. V'chol Ha'om Roim Es HaKoiles, it says the whole nation by Matan Torah seeing the sounds. Ves Lapidim, they see the torches. Ves Kol HaShoifar, they see. They hear the sound of the shofar. Ve'eshor oshen, they see the whole mountain, this mamash smoking. Vayar ha'om, vayanu, vayamdu merochek. They were trembled and they stood from far away. It says the Mechilta, v'chol ha'om royim, the whole nation sing. The Mechilta says magid shelo haya b'hem sumin. The whole nation sing, meaning there was not one single person was blind. If everybody was blind, they got healed by Matan Torah. That's what it says. The whole nation sing. How could it be that some people may be blind? No, everybody got healed. How do we know they didn't have anybody mute in Matan Torah? And if somebody was healed, Shenemar vayanu kol ha'om. It says before this Yutes Ches, it says over there the whole nation answered. Yanu kol ha'om. Everybody, how maybe somebody does not speak, doesn't know how to speak, that means Hashem healed him. If he had this problem, he was a mute, Hashem healed him. How do you know that no deaf people? Shenemar vayoimru chol ha'om naaseh v'nishma. V'nishma, they said we will hear. A deaf person cannot hear. How do you know that nobody was limping? If everybody was limping, they got cured. They stood up under the mountain. They stood up, meaning there was no limping. That's the biggest thing. How do you know they had no fools among them? They were all wise people. You were ladas, meaning you had das. You had the wisdom. Okay. So what we're seeing, learning from here, the Pashtus, this is talking about how in Matan Torah there was such a great revelation of Hashem. So Hashem healed everybody. It was l'mayla mederech hateva. Obviously, somebody is limping, is deaf, is mute, is blind. It's not easy to cure them. It was a big miracle. Matan Torah was a big revelation of Hashem. It was a revelation l'mayla ma'ateva b'soich hateva, above the nature, came into the nature, and it healed them. It healed the nature. Whoever was there, it's healed them. God. Okay. So what is nagea to us? What could we take from here, from this whole what we're learning now, that the impurity was removed, that we all got healed? How could we take it today? How could we translate this into more a practical level? Lagabe the impurity, like says the Zohar, even though by Chet Egel we got back the impurity, but if somebody is gonna really study and practice Torah and toil in Torah, the Torah will help him to remove his impurity, to get rid of it. Now, what the Mechilta says, everybody's saying, there's a capital in Tehillim. It says two places in Tehillim, almost the same thing, with a little bit small changes. One is capital Kuf Tesvav, 115, and one is 135. What says over there like this: Atzabem Kesev Ezo Masa Yedei Odom. The Goyim believe in idols made out of silver and gold. You created them, and then you said, "That's my God." It says Pelohem V'lo Yidaberu. They have a mouth. They cannot speak. You could create a mouth. You got a beautiful a mouthpiece. They can't put neshama over there. Only Hashem could put neshama. And Naim Loim V'lo Yiru. You could make a beautiful eyes, but this eyes doesn't see. There's no neshama in this eyes. Oznaim Loim V'lo Yishmo. You could craft a beautiful ears, but they don't hear. Af Loim V'lo Yirichun. They have nose, but they don't smell. Yadayim V'lo Yamishun. They have hands, but those hands cannot touch, feel anything. Ragleim v'lo yahalechun. They have feet, but they cannot walk. Lo yehegu b'groinom. You created a throat, but they cannot speak through the throat. And then it says over there, in kemoyem yu oisem kol asher boteach b'hem. Like it looks like David HaMelech cursing them. Those idol worshippers that they believe in such a nonsense. They say something they crafted with their hand. They said, "You're my God. You should be like them." He says, basically telling you shouldn't be able to see, to hear, to breathe. Like he's cursing them. But the emphasis we're going to see, it's not b'chal a curse. I'll tell you what it is. What we're saying over here, "Enayim v'lo yiru," that doesn't talk only about there's eyes to those idols and they don't see. People that idol worshippers, they don't follow the ways of Hashem. They have different philosophy, different theories of life. They don't follow. Hashem created life. He's the only one who could give you the manual for this life. It's like a manufacturer could give you the manual for the car because they manufactured it. They know what to do with this. They're the manufacturers. Nobody else could tell you how to operate this better than them. Hashem created life. He's Chaya Chaim. He's the source of life. He tells you how to live. It's the best way to follow Him. When you says, "No, I'm smarter, I'm not going to follow Him," so sometimes you have eyes, but you don't see right. Two people see the same thing. Everybody have a different perception of what he sees, a different understanding. Same thing, that's what it says. And Naim Loim, Hashem gave you eyes, but you don't either utilize them fully or you don't see them. Then it says like this. Pelohem v'lo yidaberu. They have a mouth, they can speak. You sometimes speak nonsense with your mouth. Hashem gave you the mouth, speak it right. And the mouth is also only a mouthpiece for your mind, for your heart. If you have wrong ideas, so you speak the wrong things. Oznaim v'lo yidaberu. You have ears, you don't hear, meaning hear meaning also understand. You don't understand right. You everything you hear, you see, it's all contaminated with the impurity of this world. And then it says, if you believe in idols, meaning you believe in the wrong philosophy, you're going to be thinking like them. You want to have a godly thinking. That's what it means. That the koach of Matan Torah, it could remove all the impurity, all the meshagas they have in the world today, all kind of impure ideas. Even though by Chet Egel it's all came back to us, the impurity, but now since we already, Hashem did it once for us, He removed the impurity through connecting the Torah, studying, toiling, and practicing. We could remove the impurity, all the impure ideas, and the Memela, you're going to see differently, you're going to hear differently, you're going to talk differently. That's what the pshat, the Torah could heal a person's eyes. You could, again, it's all now, all this you could bring it in the healing of the spiritual sense that you saw the wrong way, you heard the wrong way, you taught the wrong way, you spoke the wrong way. If you connect to the Torah, everything changes. The way you see, the way you hear, the way you speak, the way you think. So that's what the Gemara of here in Shabbos teaching us, that the Torah, and that's what the Ben Ish Chai says, that the fire of it, especially if you connect to the fire of Torah, you learn the Torah and you let the fire of Kedusha burn all the wrong, the fire of the snake, it could get rid of all the impurities, and the whole life going to be more a godly life.